Well, hello. And here we are, Sunday dinner. A little bit different, of course. This is my friend Christina.
Hello.
She's going to be helping me with this dish tonight because she's doing the rice that's going with dinner. And normally I give a little bit of chance to change your mind. But the winner of tonight's dinner, right there, lemon herb chicken. So, Mr. Warmke, how you doing, sir? So we are doing a lemon herb chicken. We got a bit of basmati rice going with that. But she knows how to do basmati rice. I've never messed with basmati rice, so I don't know all the best way to do it. We're going to use part of her recipe, part of my stuff. But we pretty much got everything we need. So we are going to have basically our ingredients out here. We got some rice. She's already got kind of started here. Pre-soaking and washing and all that jazz. So we got some chicken thighs, which we're going to debone and use for our main bit of thing. Salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, Italian seasoning for the herbs, some black pepper, garlic, a bit of chicken demi-glace, lemon. We're going to have a bit of green bean with that, and we're going to have a little small salad with that as well. And so she's going to get started with the rice because that's got to go first. And then once we get that started, we'll just basically chit-chat for a little bit until that's done and ready and set up to the side. Then we're going to get started with the chicken. The green beans ain't going to take that long, so that's not a problem. Just a little bit of pepper, a little bit of whatnot. Okay. So we're going to get started with this. So everybody out there who voted, thank you very much. And of course, the same thing will apply next week. We'll find 5 new dishes to go with, and we're going to try to have a little fun doing this. So a little bit tighter in the truck, with another person in here. So we will do a little bit of jostling once she's done her part, and then I'll finish up with the rest of it and do the plating up, and hopefully we have a successful meal here. All right, so
start this.
All right, Christina is going to take over here for a little bit. So this is her first time doing this, so please bear with us. So we will go from there.
It's very simple. I'm just going to cut this onion. Not an entire onion. Normally it's halves.
Let's tone it down.
About half an onion. Need to start this. You can use any oil, but I like to use ghee, and this is really real ghee from Pakistan and India. Clarified butter, and very good for you. If I can open it. I'm just going to use 1 spoon. Actually, I'm going to put 2.
You want to push the saute button on there.
Okay. There. Okay.
All right.
It's pretty
So, Mr.
rich.
Scat, got a little late there. Pulled pork, we'll have to put on a different menu. We may do a bonus. I think maybe I think Tuesday we might be doing a bonus meal on Tuesday because I'll have that day off. So we might have a bonus meal. So you may get your vote with that.
Just this size.
Hold it real close to the house.
Thin and half moon shape.
So about 1/4 of an inch. Mr. TJ Jones, how you doing, sir? Dinner of choice, like it says on the screen, is lemon herb chicken with a bit of basmati rice, green beans, and we have a little salad on the side as well. And a herb butter sauce. So today has been a day of basically just waiting around because I cannot pick up my load until Monday. Would like to have been here Friday afternoon, but 400 miles, at about 11 o'clock, we would not have made it down to Charleston, South Carolina from Cartersville, Virginia in time to be able to pick up on Friday.
I'm going to go ahead and just use the rest of this. Basically, it's half an onion. Do you need onion?
Also, we're going to put some in the salad. But like I said, we're not going to make it to where our pickup was here at 5 o'clock or even just a few minutes before. So we have to wait all weekend basically. So we got a few other things done. I've got some cabinet, got a little bit of shelving built, got some things organized in the truck. Now we got 2 people on the truck for a while. So things have to be moved and organized, and a little bit of shelving has to be built. I installed some flags, my oversized flags that are metal and spring loaded. So we're not using the wooden flag, anymore, which makes it a little bit easier, a little bit faster, a little bit nicer for when I'm doing the work. So.
I wish I could turn it up a little.
Well, unfortunately, it's only one did talk to the camera.
I feel like my head's cut off.
Well, it is, so you just got to constantly adjust it.
Okay.
So a simple meal that you can actually make a little bit fancier, like I said, simply by adding a sauce. You add a sauce to it, and it makes the meal a whole lot better.
I already took a cup of rice and rinsed it 3 times with water, and it's completely drained after I let it soak for about 7 minutes. So you just want to get the extra, what do you call it? It's like carbohydrates, but you kind of rinse
Starch.
it. Yeah, starch. Right.
So this is basmati rice, not the rice that I normally use, which is a Japanese style, a sticky what they call glutinous rice. This is more of a rice that's going to separate.
Yeah, it's famous in India and Pakistan, and it smells very good. It's like a nutty smell and flavor. It's really good. Too bad you can't smell it. That is great.
I'm liking it.
I'm continuing. I kind of make rice backwards. I fry the onion, and then I add the rice, and then I add the liquid after that. Actually, the salt, I'm just going to use salt, black pepper, and red chili flakes. There's so many types of rice in India and Pakistan, but we're going to do this one with the lemon herb chicken. Here.
TJ
Hi,
Jones, a fellow
everyone.
truck driver.
I invited
Margaret Clark is a former truck driver. Joe Scott's a truck driver, and Mr. Joe Scott has done a little bit of shelf building himself. He showed me a picture just a little while ago here on Facebook.
I think it's amazing that Robert cooks like this in the truck. I don't think anybody else eats like this. Last night was amazing.
Well, I mean, for me, it's a simple. It's a matter of practicality. It's a lot more affordable to cook in the truck, which I've said umpteen times on these shows. But it's the fact that I get to have what I want. I cannot go into the pilot here, or Flying J River, how we are here in Somerville, South Carolina. I am not going to get lemon herb chicken with basmati rice and green beans. I can get chicken, I can get some of the things, but it's all second-rate stuff.
You can only eat so many hamburgers. You know?
That's another big thing
and
about it.
French fries and all the calories on top of that. I mean, this is going to have so much flavor. You won't believe it, with just salt and pepper and red chili. Okay, I'm quiet. I speak quietly, so I hope everyone can hear me. Can you hear me?
So this is really Christina's first time doing this,
Yeah.
so
Not my first time making basmati rice, but definitely my first time on camera.
So in the future, we may have some Pakistani, Indian style cuisine being made. So the choices are going to get a little bit larger. My way of doing is very Eurocentric, very Italian, very plain old Americana. Definitely a lot of Japanese influence. Grew up 10 years in Japan, so there you go. And also a bit of Chinese. That's my, menu, preference type thing. So, but she's going to bring something a little bit more, for me, exotic.
Yes, I have an extensive history of cooking this type of food because my ex-mother-in-law was amazing, and she taught me everything I know about cooking. And that was 15 years of this. So I love it. I crave it, and it's nice that we can put them both together.
And it'll make it a little bit interesting. I get to try things I've never had. And I get to learn some new techniques and new ways of doing things that I've never thought about. So my ability to cook is going to become greater, which is definitely, I always like that.
I love to cook. It's relaxing to me, fun, and the outcome is great. So.
And that's the whole point.
I really want to brown these onions. They're still pretty translucent right now. How does it smell, Robert?
It smells amazing.
Yes.
Mr. Roland Keith. How you doing, Raleigh? Thank you for staying up late, as you usually do, coming all the way from Australia. I do appreciate it.
Oh, hi.
So we're starting with the basmati rice. This takes a little bit longer than everything else. The chicken isn't going to take long to cook. The green beans, just basically warm them through, throw a little bit of butter, a little bit of black pepper, maybe a little bit of garlic on it. That's all it takes. Mr. Nathaniel Lee.
Start adding spices.
All right, these are whole.
Yes.
These are whole peppercorns.
You can use powdered also. Ground.
Now, normally I wouldn't add whole, but like I said, this particular thing is her thing, and she's going to kill me with this.
About that much. Just a quarter of a teaspoon actually, but we're using a big spoon right now.
Now the green dot up there is the camera.
Hey.
So I anticipate this to have a nice sweet pepper flavor. Because if you ever seen me do my lima beans, I dump a ton of crushed black pepper on it. And because I let it saute for 10, 20 minutes, it's not spicy. It's more of the sweet flavors that come out of the black pepper. Because you actually get that oil in the black pepper and it activates it.
Okay, I'm going to add salt. I'm going to add, it would be 1 teaspoon. Because this is a giant spoon. But it'll work. It's sweet and savory rice. It's you can just taste all the flavors as you eat it. It just kind of, you can taste all the flavors. It comes alive. It's not just plain rice. Okay, I'm not used to this. What do you think about this? The Basmati rice. Has anyone had Basmati?
All right, Nathaniel Lee, welcome in. Appreciate it. And B Blood.
They're starting to look really good. Don't know if you can see. They're starting to brown a little bit. I'm going to keep going with that. And then I'll add the rice. So I added whole peppercorn, about 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. And now, red chili flakes.
See, I don't measure a dang thing.
I'm not really. I mean, that's a lot. How about? Just to your taste.
See, I wouldn't even bother with the spoon. I just dump it in as I see it.
No.
So far, I am loving this. Having ghee, which is a clarified butter, basically the butter, the fats, a lot of the the milk solids are taken out, and what you're left with is basically pure fat, pure oil.
And it never goes bad.
Yeah.
It lasts. Okay.
Hey, Healthy Living with Miss Renee, how you doing? And Cruiser Chris World Network, how you doing? All right, this is my friend Christina.
Hello.
She's going to be on the truck for me for a little while. And she's doing her, earning her keep. She's helping me with a little bit of cooking.
So this is what it looks like. Not too brown, but you can tell that it's browned. Okay, and then I have the pre-soaked rice. Now I've added black peppercorn, salt, and red chili flakes. This is a simple rice, but it's so good. Okay, and here's the rice. I'm making it backwards. I put the liquid after. I'm going to fry it a little bit. Okay. I do. I use my hand, basically.
We ain't that fancy here. We got all the tools. I do the same thing. You've all seen me.
My hands are clean. Very clean.
Yeah, we're going to be nuking it with all the heat anyway, so anything that's in there, yeah, whatever. I ain't afraid to get the cooties.
Burn myself already. I don't know, can you hear the rice as it's cooking in the pot? Sizzle.
It's getting a nice warm smell, if you classify that. It smells a little bit toasty. There's a little hint of nuttiness in there. I'm starting to smell the black pepper.
Now I'm going to add rice, and if you use 1 cup of rice, you use 1.5 cups of liquid. If you double it, it will be sticky. This way it should fall apart and be flaky.
like I said, we are, yeah, beef blood. I'm going to have something a little bit different than I normally have. I've had Ethiopian. I've had a good deal of Southern style India. North, was what Northwest.
This is northern.
Well, but northwest of India is Pakistan, right?
Yes.
And Bangladesh is on the other side. So Northwest India, Punjab.
There's Punjab is also in Pakistan.
I mean Punjab, Pakistan area. Yeah. So you're getting that kind of a mix between Middle Eastern, Arabic, Persian, into Indian kind of mix here with Pakistani, Punjabi type of flavors and styles here. So this is something that I normally will never have had. So I've had like I said, a lot of Goa, a little bit of Delhi, which is kind of northern a little bit, but mostly Southern Indian is what I've had in the past. So this is going to be a little bit different flavors and style for me.
I think I like this better than Indian because everything is so hot and so dark when it's cooked. It's almost burned. But with this, you can just taste the flavors, like a ribbon of flavors going through.
And that's the thing, I can go almost any way. I will always try something no matter what. So this is, like I said, it's going to be a little bit, quote unquote, exotic for me. But it's always good to try something new, which is, pretty much the point of doing the cooking show.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to read the names.
Yep.
Bee Blood?
Bee Blood? Yep.
Blood? Oh, with one O?
He's probably my #1 fan for the high-speed videos that I do. The time
Hi, everyone. Videos. Who is from Australia?
Mr. Roland Keith. Everybody calls him Raleigh.
Okay. From what area?
If I remember right, he's from Queensland, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. I've been to Melbourne. I was there for 6 weeks with family. It was beautiful, but it took forever. It was about a 28-hour flight. Beautiful place. Okay, so I'm just waiting for this to simmer, and once it starts to boil a little bit, I need to turn the heat down to medium.
Go.
Hmm?
It doesn't go to medium.
Okay, it doesn't go. I've never cooked in an Instapot, so I usually do it with standard.
Well, basically, do is turn it off and cover it.
Okay, it's already started, so I'm just gonna take the lid. I'm gonna improvise and put half. If you're using a regular pot, you just wait until it starts to boil, and then you do the very same thing and turn it to medium, and you watch until the liquid goes down about this deep in the pan. And then you cover it completely and turn it on low for 15 minutes, and it's perfect. It's great. It's usually served with plain yogurt, which was strange for me in the beginning, but it's really good. It cools your tongue after you have a little bit of spice.
Now, do they often use a cucumber?
No.
Because I know, over in Lebanon, that area, Israel, Lebanon, that area, they will use a cucumber, kind of like a Greek style yogurt, but they will use that to help cool. So you're not doing that with the Pakistani.
No, I mean, they have other flavors of the yogurt with green chili and cilantro, but rice dishes, most dishes are covered with bits of cilantro, which just brings a fresh taste. But the yogurt paired together it's wonderful. It's like a little bit like sour cream, but not that heavy, but it just cools your tongue. So I cook with a lot of green chilies, the small ones, not the big ones, the Serrano.
Okay.
All right, it's boiling pretty nice, and looks like I can cover it pretty soon. Does it go below simmer?
No, it's saute, or it's designed.
What's the lowest?
It's designed to boil and get lots of pressure next week.
Okay. And simmer is the lowest.
Well, saute's the lowest.
All right.
So it's basically we just got to take a little bit of improvisation, and like I said, turn it off, turn it on, as need be, and kind of let it steam if need be.
Just gonna watch it. Try not to stir too much. Just checking the liquid.
Right. So while you're sitting there, would you like to start with the chicken to debone it?
I think that's your job.
Oh, that's my job. Oh.
Yes, I think I'm not into that. I'll just watch it and then I'll cover it. We'll turn it off.
Okay.
And here's onion for the salad. You said you wanted onion, right?
A little bit of onion wouldn't hurt in the salad. So we're gonna have a little bit of green salad, which we didn't make that salad. I just bought it here as a kind of a last minute thing for just a little bit extra for the meal. We got it here from the pilot flying Jane here. They actually have somewhat decent pre-made salad. Show that.
Oh.
So they have a chicken Caesar salad. They have chef salad. They have garden salad or side salad here, and all those classifications, all those different types. It's just adding a different ingredient or two. So like I said, this is a little bit of cheese, lettuce, a little bit of carrot, maybe a little tiny bit of cabbage, a couple of tomatoes in there, little cherry tomatoes, and an egg.
Need something fresh with that.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not, compared to what you would get at Love's. Love's salads are a little bit too frou-frou, a little too, they're trying too hard to be fancy. I've tried those salads and it's like, give me plain old regular iceberg lettuce and go from there.
I'm going to cover it completely.
And like I said, we're going to add a little bit of onion here. And we could make, we got a little bit of dark bread. We could make some croutons, but that's going a little bit too far. We got a little bit of onion. We have some Wishbone Italian Robusto, I believe it's Robusto seasoning, salad dressing. And, we will just, we'll just make do. We'll have a nice, simple meal. So we have some, I'm
just going to let it sit.
And we'll just let it sit. There we go.
Okay.
So.
This is his turn now. Okay. Thank you for being here, everyone. I'll be watching from my phone. I've invited friends too. Okay.
All right, now we're going to downgrade the show here a little bit. All right, so here we are. So like I said, we're gonna use a little bit of prepackaged salad here, just to kind of round out the meal, make it more like you would get at a restaurant. So put that to the side there. We'll put that up there. Since somebody that got out of the kitchen, they can wash that. We're going to wipe down things here a little bit. So the rice is going to take the longest amount of time to do anything with. Yeah, there goes the ratings. So we're just going to clean up here a little bit, and we're going to debone 2 of these chicken thighs. We're going to save 2 of them for later on. I think maybe tomorrow I might be doing a little bit of a shish kebab, depending if we get to a Walmart, pick up a few other ingredients, a little bit of mushroom, carrot, some green onion, regular onion, blah blah blah. But we'll see. Right. Put that away so we don't hurt ourselves. That away because we just don't need it. But other than that, everything is going pretty good. A little bit of delay with picking up the load. lets us do some other things. Like I said, I got my new flags finally installed. It's only been a couple of months I've had them, but just haven't had the time to actually do it. But we got things a little more organized in the truck because of another person being on the truck. So oh, we got some Jewish rye bread because I want some sandwiches. Bamboo skewers. You can't work on the truck. As I said, little rolling pin, all kinds of good stuff here in my old handy dandy thing there. So we already got those. Mr. Kane Henson, how are you doing, sir? Welcome on in. So, like it says, lemon herb chicken for dinner. So we got that. Step out the way. Here we go. Wipe things down here. That away. Is that a good wipe down? Green beans, we're just letting them kind of thaw out. Is that away? And we're going to look at this. We're going to give this another stir here. There we go. That is nice and fluffy. You want to check this real quick?
Yes.
Give it the old taste test there.
I think we still need to just cover it. It's going to be fine. It's going to cook all the way through.
You might want to give it a taste, make sure that is the right consistency, if you would, please. The right, to the tooth, as the Italians like to say, al
I
dente.
can tell you right now it's not.
Well, that's it. Better to give it a little taste and make sure. We'll see.
It's good, but let's cover it.
It's covered. Okay, well,
You need to put something over here?
let's put this on. Put it down here. So, do you want to take that out of there,
Oh, it's
or
so
just
good.
leave it in there?
Keep it in here. Are we going to cook the chicken in the saute?
Yeah, we're gonna put it in a regular pan.
It is so good.
All right. Okay, so first things first, we're going to, like I said, we're going to take 2 of our chicken breasts or chicken thighs here. I don't like using chicken breast. It's never really have any real flavor for me. It's easy. You don't have to take any bones out typically. You just have to, slice it. But it just does not give the flavor I want. And since I'm paying all this money for it, plus chicken breast is often a little bit more expensive because everybody wants chicken breast. Oh, let's do this. No flavor, not a whole lot of nutrients. Chicken thighs, because the muscle's been working the entire life of the animal, it has more substance to it. It has more nutrients in it because the animal needed to have more in the only part of the body that's really working all that much. The breast of the chicken has just been, made bigger and bigger and bigger because there's demand for it. But it's not that much better in my opinion. All right, so we're going to take these other 2 chicken breasts. We're going to put them in a little zippy lock bag here because we don't need that styrofoam anymore. The bag here. All right. So we get these put off to the side here. Pardon me. Excuse me, man. All right, so these are skin on and bone in. Wanda Wyatt and Sandy Puterberg. Late to the party again, but this time you're at the beginning, even though you're late. And it's called Fashionably Late. So we got 2, bone in, skin on chicken thighs. So we're just going to quickly run our knife around the bone here. We want to try to keep the meat as whole as possible. So we're going to be being a little bit more careful with our knife control. As we can be. There we go. That's one. Now, normally in a normally in a kitchen, Mr. Ross Romes, Sir Ross Romes, how you doing? Not quote unquote girlfriend, but a friend.
Who's a girl?
Who's a girl? So that's about as far as that goes. But like I said, we're going to basically pan fry this. So you see, it's not that thick. We try to keep it as nice and even as we can. We're going to use the fat from under the skin as part of the flavoring and seasoning. Diana SFing, how you doing? You're another one who likes being late as well. And then we're going to use our cast iron pan to get a good flavor on that. We're going to take those out. We're going to make a nice roux sauce in that pan. We got a little bit of green bean for our main vegetable. Basically just going to butter, salt, pepper, whatnot. We can get our chicken there. Like I said, we're just. There we go. Now a smaller knife would probably be a bit better, but we're going to be. But if you are not confident and skilled with a knife, please A, use a smaller knife, or have your local butcher do that. There's no sense in hurting yourself just to try to look impressive. So we got two pretty decent, chicken thighs there. Probably should use a plate here somewhere. If I got one. Yeah, I got one here. So we're just going to throw those on a plate here. Let's put this inside there. Yeah. Get rid of those. We don't want those. All right. Lemon herb chicken. A little bit of basmati rice. We'll review that in a moment once that's absolutely ready. Let me get my, here we go. So we're going to clean up after our chicken here because the chicken makes the biggest mess pretty much. And that's probably the hardest, like I've always said, the hardest part of cooking in the truck like this is the fact I got to sit down to do it. If I had a larger, cab here and I could stand up, it would definitely be a lot more enjoyable. Now let's dry that off. There we go. So we're going to take, so we got our two chicken thighs here. So we're going to take just a little sprinkle of salt, not a whole lot. We want this. All this is doing is not really pulling any moisture out of the chicken, which salt that can be used in the cooking process for that. But what we're going to do is just let some of that browning occur just a little bit faster. All right. A little bit of black pepper. Just a real light amount, just enough. And then we're going to use this as our herbs. Just general powder, your average run-of-the-mill stuff. We're going to get a cup here. We need a spoon. We need a spoon right there. So we're going to take a little bit of our better than bouillon chicken. Take a good scoop of this. We're getting this prepared ahead of time. This is primarily going to be for our sauce at the end. I might as well go ahead and get it ready right now. A little bit of garlic. We have real fresh garlic, but we're just going to use the minced stuff here real quick. Grab another.
Smell the rice?
It does smell good.
Oh, it smells good.
Put that in there. There we go. And we're going to take a little bit of what's in our Italian seasoning here. And put a good amount in there. Now, we're going to use some bottled lemon juice. You can use regular lemon, cut it, squeeze it, put the rind in there as well. That would be the best way to do it, but there you go. Salty dog, I know that, so no problems. Welcome on in, sir. I do appreciate it. It's not. Well, see, I am in the process of redoing the surface of my cast iron pan. The surface that comes from the factory, the pre-seasoned, it sucks. So I've already taken my angle grinder outside on the back of the truck, and I ground out the surface that came from the factory. I don't want that surface. I want the surface that I want. Now, just using the angle grinder on it made it 10 times better to start with. I have a random orbital sander out there as well with 320 grit paper. I'll be using that for a good 20 minutes, 30 minutes on it. Easy. I mean, pan's about yay big. But we're going to really get that a nice smooth. We're not going to get a mirror polish on it, but we're going to get a pretty good surface on it. Then we're going to bring it in. We're going to put it on the heat. We're going to blast as much heat into it as I possibly can with what I have. And then, of course, we're going to put a proper oil on it to really let that carbon develop and give you that non-stick surface. But that's a long, slow process. We got to do many, heats and cool downs to get that surface the way I want it. So in here we have a little bit of garlic, our demi-glace chicken, and our Italian seasoning. A little bit of lemon. Now we're going to put a lemon at the beginning and at the end. Because we want that complexity of flavor. A little bit of water there, please. Oh, here it is. So we're gonna let this demi-glace paste, dissolve in the water. Hot water would be preferable, but we ain't gonna cry about it. Plus, we're gonna let all those little leaves that have been chopped up. We're gonna let those soak in the water, absorb that moisture, revitalize them a little bit. That will let the oils that are still present, which isn't a whole lot, but we're gonna let those rejuvenate those herbs and let the flavor come out a little bit more. So the longer you can let this sit is good, but fresh is always better. Because if the plant is still somewhat alive, that's what you want. All right. So the chicken basically has a tiny amount of salt, tiny amount of pepper. Pardon me. All right, so we now need to get our pan out here. We also need to get our hot plate right there for the moment. Pardon me. That plugged in. I won't turn that on just yet. We got a pan for our green beans, which we're going to start first. We're just going to Did you wash that?
Not yet.
Yeah, please wash
That's why
that.
I had rice.
All right. So we're just gonna take when we get our. You wash that?
It had the rice in it.
I have the rice. Okay, we'll separate that then. So once the green beans are done, we're just gonna stick them in here and let them kind of just sit. So we get those started first. We get the chicken done. By the time the chicken is pretty much done, then we can start our sauce. And pretty much by the time the sauce is done and we start putting everything on the plate, the rice should be just perfect. Oh yeah. Got called for dinner. Well, you don't avoid your dinner for mine. So definitely enjoy there. All right, so like I said, we're gonna get a little bit of water in here. Get that turned on. So we're just trying to warm the green beans up. So we don't need a whole lot of water. More like steaming them more than anything else. These are fresh, well, steam fresh green beans. Yeah, I mean, they're not the best you can get, but as usual on a truck, you have to make certain compromises. Get that going there. Just a moment. We are going to take a little taste of this rice here. Let's see what we got. I think it's about right.
It's ready.
Does that taste like it should? So just a little bit of a hint right back here on the throat for the pepper. A nutty flavor. And like I said, that peppery heat just lasts and lasts and lasts. A tiny amount of sweetness from the onion. But pretty good. I like that. So we're going to go with that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. All right, so I said we're going to get these green beans basically just hot. They're going to continue to cook here off to the side when we get them in there. And then we'll drain them, and then we'll add a little bit of butter at the last minute. Hey, Salty Dog, no problem. Thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate it. Watch the replay, and definitely hope we see you Saturday for the regular meal, and then next Sunday for Sunday dinner number 6. 5 new dishes. We will see what we have. We will see what we can come up with. Unfortunately, during the meantime, this refrigerator here needs to be empty. You know, all the food that's in it needs to be eaten down. We need to defrost it, do a cleaning on it. You know, try to do that every quarter of a year, but it definitely needs it now. I got another person on the truck, so we will go from there. But just be safe out there, Salty Dog. And Diana, thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate it. B Blood, thank you also for coming in. So we are going to use our cast iron pan for our chicken here. So like I said, ground out the surface here, because otherwise it's all black like this. But ground out the surface here with the the angle grinder, just a real quick, just take that surface off. And I'm going to tell you, I'll be putting an random orbital sander in here with about 320 grit paper, and just make this a lot smoother. I mean, it's better than the rough surface that it comes with, and that's just not even trying. So we are going to make this, we're going to do our chicken in here. That way we get some decent color on the chicken. And when we do our roux, there's enough heat that's built up in the pan that it's going to be a lot more gentle, a lot more easy to create that roux. Now I got to find my my flour. I got to see where it is. Egg carton falling all over the place. Get it up. Yes, one jar flour. Where are you, one jar flour? There's there. Unless it's in here in the middle. Oh, there it is. Yep, it's in the middle. So, as usual, when you're making a roux, you want your flour to be roux. No, not RWO, not kangaroo. Not kangaroo, a French roux. R-O-U-X, roux. All right, so we're going to use the Wonder flour, which is a very finely ground flour, which when you are making a roux, a thickening agent. All right, those are nice and warm, you're heating up. So this container here is microwave safe, temperature safe, so we don't have to worry about the plastic melting. Dump that right off. There we go. Set up to the side there. This around here. There we go. That around there. We can stick this off to the side. There. There we go. So we're going to let that sort of steam and just stay hot with the hot water that's right near boiling. A cost estimate of the meal. So we used maybe 5 cents of better than bouillon, 2 cents of garlic, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 20 cents. The chicken was about $2, $2.50 for the 2 pieces of chicken. Green beans, which is about, that's half a bag of green beans. That's approximately 50 cents. The rice, what was the bag of rice?
Probably $6, but
Right.
we used about $1.50.
So about $1.50 for the rice, a little bit of onion, a little bit of that. The salad is probably the most expensive thing because, their labor goes into that. So total cost for 2 people, for 2 meals, is going to be around $7 at the most, I would say. Senor Sister Freebird, how you doing? And shouldn't that be Senorita Freebird? Just asking. So, like I said, we're going to get this pan as hot as we can. So we're not going to do a thing to put anything in there until absolutely necessary. Now, this is where I would prefer to have some peanut oil. I prefer peanut oil over canola oil, corn oil. Sunflower oil is okay. Grapeseed oil is okay. But peanut oil is my favorite. So use it as you think best. I like the peanut oil because that I can crank the heat up very high with peanut oil and it won't burn. But use the oil that's good for you. I mean, I have olive oil, I have bacon, I have butter, I have some canola oil around here somewhere. I don't know where you put the canola oil. Here we go. Plus, we now have ghee on the truck, some clarified butter. So we are the canola oil cannot get as hot as I would like. Butter has an even lower temperature. The bacon fat, about the same, probably a little bit better than butter, but I don't want the bacon flavor in with this particular meal. Otherwise, I would use bacon. But we're going to, the canola oil is a pretty neutral flavor, so it's not going to bring a lot. Like I said, olive oil would bring a lot of the Mediterranean, that kind of spiciness, a little bit of pepperiness for really good quality. Well, I can get peanut oil at, Walmart and whatnot, but the thing with that, I cannot get a bottle this size or smaller. This is 24 ounces, 1.5 pints. I would like a smaller container of oil. I don't use oil all the time. I said I mostly cook with butter or bacon fat. You gotta turn that up. Like I said, so it's going to take a little bit of time to heat up here. We got our chicken pretty much ready to go. Just a tiny amount of salt, tiny amount of pepper, just on the meat side. The skin side, we don't have anything on that side. We got our sauce, the liquid for our sauce, which has a lot of the flavor in it. So we have some chicken bouillon, demi-glace, basically a bouillon, a little bit of garlic, a lot of Italian herb seasoning, and a touch of water, and a little bit of lemon. So when we make our sauce, that's going to be the main flavor component right there. Bacon fat is best, Senior Sister Freebird. You are right on that. So we got to let this get nice and hot. The green beans are going. We'll drain those off real quick when we need to, and then we will be able to do throw a little bit of butter on that, mix that up. Should be just fine. Can you get that other Instapot pan up there? Because I use that. Need to have to dump some water into. So, like I said, this is more than 90+% of all truck drivers is ever going to do. So we just got an extra little pot here to dump water into, throw spoons and forks and knives and whatnot into. So we're just going to set them right there. We'll put those away, I guess.
Typically, you eat this rice with a spoon, not a fork.
And typically the rice is eaten with a spoon. Now the closest thing that I've had to this particular type of rice, like I said, is either Indian cuisine, Southern India, Goa, South. Hey, Margaret, no problem. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. King and Queen Stacking, how you doing? Like it says on the screen, lemon herb chicken, basmati rice, green beans, a little herb sauce, and we also got a little bit of Pilot Flying J salad to start. So we are just letting our pan get hot. We are not touching it until it gets to a temperature, and I'm just feeling the temperature here with my hand. I have a laser thermometer outside, which I use to check my brakes and my tires, but here we're just checking with our hands. This is how I cook, so that's starting to get there. Like I said, once everything, we start getting the sauce ready, everything will kind of just last minute rush, things will get together. There. Don't need this anymore. Get that out the way. It needs a little bit of smoking going on, which is what we need. We may need to turn this up a little bit. There we go. We're going to turn our fan up. We're going to turn our temperature down on the AC. A little bit of oil. And the oil is ready to go and properly temperature when you get what's called legs, little runny streams in there. So I'm going to throw that in here. Just like that. Keep that from splattering on itself. The chicken's not going to take long at all. Had a lid. I don't know what it is with the lid. Have you seen the lid? The big lid. I don't know what I did with the lid. It's around here somewhere. Like I said, chicken's not going to take long at all. Put those out the way in there. Nope. Just using the plate to keep from splattering on myself. Which you see I'm wearing, I don't know if you can see my knees there. I'm wearing shorts as I always normally do, so we're just using the plate to kind of block that, but doesn't smell bad for.
Smells good.
All right, that's not going to splatter that much more, so we are good to go. Got a pair of tongs around here. I don't know what happened to them. They're probably just up here, out of the box where they don't belong. Whoops. There we go. Hair tongs. A little strainer there. So we're going to take this and flip that over. Let's add a little bit of color on the meat. We're not we want to keep this as tender and juicy as possible, so we're not going to blast the heck out of this. We want a high temperature to get a little bit of that caramelization on there. Let's see if we can look at that real quick. So you can see a little bit of that color on the chicken there. A little bit of the fat's going to render out of the skin. The skin will be, if it's done right, just a little bit crispy around the edges, which I like that. I have a weird thing with chicken. I actually like a little bit of toughness to chicken when it's in nice little cubes and whatnot, little bite-sized pieces. I like it a little bit tough, but that's just a personal thing, you know. But we're going to cook it so that it's palatable to other people here. Going to cover our legs here. Over there. We're just take a towel here and cover our leg. There you go. And then, like I said, we have the canola oil. We're going to have a little bit of fat from the chicken in here as well. We're going to have a bit of butter in there. So we're going to be making a roux. Like I said, we need a whisk. What do I do with my whisk? I got a whisk in here. Do I get a whisk in here? I don't know where my whisk went to. It's probably up here in this mess. Let's see if we can find one. I could have sworn I had one in here. Oh well, I don't see it, so oh well. We'll use a fork and do it the old-fashioned way. Unless it's in here and I just didn't see it. We'll check. We will double check. Ah, here we go. We're hiding at the bottom. So, little mini travel size whisk here. Take the spatula to be on the safe side as well. So let's take a look at our chicken. A pale yellow, a little bit of brown on the chicken, on the skin itself. So we will let that, we're going to do a couple more turns here to let it evenly cook through. Shelly Michelle. Well, I could use a fork, Diana, but we're going to get all fancy with the old whisk here. I have done it with a fork. It's not as a fork, unless you are one of them old grandmas that really know how to do it properly. You know, I just don't have that knack. You know, just that, you know, that feeling that, you know, 800 years of making the same dish over and over again gives you, like those old Italian grandmas, that old Southern, you know, soul food type, you know, mom makes. You know, I don't have that level of talent. So, but we can resort to technology and do it the way I know how to do it, and hopefully it comes out fairly good. Shelly Michelle, well, a little late there voting, but next week we'll have 5 new dishes. We will see what comes up, and like I said before, I think Tuesday we're gonna have a bonus meal because I'll be off on Tuesday. We'll have time to stop by a Walmart and and do the things we need to do. I don't know what I'm gonna make or what Christina's gonna make. We'll find out. We'll see what we're in the mood for. Diana, you're talking to the wrong person about whisking with chopsticks. I do it all the time. You don't scramble eggs with a fork. You scramble them with chopsticks. Believe me, I cannot stir properly with a fork. I have to use chopsticks to mix an egg. Things like that. All right, so a little bit more on that side. A little bit more color here. I'm gonna move this around because the pan is giving a little more color on that side. There we go. And a little bit of chicken decided to break off. So you see a little bit of color on there. Just a tiny amount of salt and pepper, canola oil, and the bacon fat rendering out from underneath the skin. If I was doing this plain, I did not have the demi-glace in the sauce, I would add a lot more salt, but I like salt. Salt is, bacon, salt, chocolate, Cheetos. Those are my top flavors that I like. So we're going to do the chicken once more on the skin side down here. Get a little more color in there. Get a little more of that fat out of there. That's going to make the roux a lot better. There we go. Get a plate here. Get a couple of decent bowls here. Nice little pasta bowls. Not plastic, not paper. That to me is, you use paper and plastic when you're on a picnic. You don't have paper and plastic when you're having a real meal. I refuse to have those on the truck. And if somebody decides to bring some on the truck, they'll be hell to pay. All right, so the chicken is up to temperature. That's why you hear an increase in the frying activity, because the chicken is not absorbing more heat through the pan. It's actually starting to brown a little bit more. That's why it sounds a little bit louder. You have to use all your senses when you are cooking. And if you look at that, we got a nice browning here. Get my towel out here. Now, working in kitchens and learning how to cook, to properly use a kitchen towel as an oven mitt, place the one corner in your hand, another corner all the way down your arm, wrap it around your hand like this towards the front, hold the corner back underneath your hand, and you can pick it up without burning your hand. Look at that color. Some nice color going on there. We're going to turn the heat down a little bit without throwing your utensils in the pan. I did that for example. That was planned. All right, so we're going to take our chicken out. We're just going to set it in one plate for now. Get that little piece out of there. There we go. And we're going to use this other plate to keep the temperature in. Whew, okay. We're going to let the temperature settle down here. We're going to turn that off real quick. We're going to let the temperature settle down just a little bit. Now, if my assistant here would be so kind, right? You got to place over the assistants, right? All right. So, if she would take the salad here and divide that up, not, I guess, just maybe like 2/3 of it for split in half for both of us. I do not want any tomatoes, personally. And here's the onion. And the salad dressing for tonight, which is the only salad dressing I particularly like, Zesty Robusto Italian, Wishbone. I do not really like any other type. So there we go. Just a light, nice light coating on there, if you would, please. So the temperature is coming down. We're going to turn this about a quarter of the way back up. You need, what do you need? A fork. Give you a fork and a spoon to pinch those out. There you go. So we got our Wondra flour. This is going to be, the oil is going to carry it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the Wondra flour, which is a very finely ground flour, more than just your standard, all-purpose flour. This is a little bit more finely ground, so that each individual grain of the flour is a lot smaller, which makes mixing a lot easier. So we're gonna, and we want, and that, it'll cook out the raw flour flavor a lot more quickly. And every grain that we put in here is going to absorb that fat, which is the main thing we want. So this is largely canola oil. Now we could have started fresh, emptied all that oil out, that fat from the chicken out, and that would have made a little bit more richness, a little bit more rich sauce. But we're going to do this till we have a nice sort of dry roux. The longer you cook it, the more powerful it can become. If you want to learn how to make a really good roux, do the Cajun, Louisiana method. That is actually an improvement upon the French, where they got it from, method. Low and slow heat is best, but definitely making sure that raw flavor is cooked out. And the less time you cook it, the more pale or blonde it'll be. So you just want to keep this moving so it doesn't burn, doesn't darken as much. And this is one of those things that a good quality roux will always make your meal 10 times better. If you learn to make a roux, you just say meatloaf. Instead of opening a jar of pre-made brown gravy, from Heinz or whatever it is, if you made a roux and you did that all yourself, you'll be surprised how much more you actually enjoy the meal. And that's the point why I like to cook. I want to make it the way I like it, the way that's actually better. And that's the thing. I could go in here. They got a Wendy's here. They got the hot bar. I think they got the hot bar here. They got the this pre-made sandwiches and salads and little stuff like that. And that's fine if you need something quick. I mean, we've gotten something quick this past couple of days. Hey, Huawei, how you doing, sir? Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Definitely. So we are making our roux here. That is starting to come together and thicken up. Our chicken is done. Our vegetable is pretty much done. We just got to drain it, add a little bit of butter to it. plate our rice and whatnot. So here we're going to turn our heat up here a little bit. Move this out the way. I don't think we need any more of that. Get up out of the way. Stick this up here. There we go. Yep. Don't let things fall in the pan. So we want to keep that emulsified there. Now this has a good deal of chicken flavor. And here's the major flavor component here. Chicken bouillon, or demi-glace as I use. A bit of Italian seasoning, a little bit of lemon. I'm going to stick that in there like that. Nice yellow flavor, yellow color to it. I'm going to mix that all around. We've let that steep for a little while and let the demi-glace, dissolve into it. Okay. We'll let that simmer for a moment.
I'll take that one.
Huh?
Yeah, I wanted to cover it.
Yeah. So we're going to take our green beans. We're going to drain those. Like I said, we just basically got the water just to boiling with the green beans. We're going to take just a bit more butter here. Put that, let the residual heat do its thing. We're going to turn this heat all the way up to high. Really crank it up there a little bit. Because now we don't have to worry about it burning, but we want to get some evaporation going to concentrate the flavor and to help thicken everything up. Now this is more sauce than we need, but extra sauce ain't going to kill nobody. Brussels sprouts. Did you actually say Brussels sprouts? I'm going to kick you off the channel for saying that. I am not a Brussels sprout fan. Little rotten cabbages, that's all Brussels sprouts are to me. You got both plates ready?
Right here.
Okay, right, right. All right. Stir this up here a little bit. Just going to butter the old green beans here. This is a salted butter. Not really a heavily salted one, but still.
Still fresh. I'll do it.
You put a lot of rice in there, didn't you?
It's good.
Remember, the chicken's still got to go in as well.
I know.
So, but the rice is going to carry some of the gravy as well. And here it is, starting to thicken up here a little bit. There we go. Starting to thicken up. That's what we want. Now you can either just put it on the plate and spoon this over the top. So we're going to add a good squeeze of the lemon juice to really have that last little bit of brightness to it. There we go. That's getting thick. There we go. And of course, the thicker it is, the more the herbs are going to be in suspension, which is what we want. Get that off there. A little bit of the fat coming off. We'll dump that right back in. Side. Stir that in. Nice and creamy and a thick sauce. Throw that chicken right in on top, like that. There we go. Stick these off to the side. So throw that down there. Right there. There. So we are done with that. Stick that down there as well. Hold that up, put that away. Take our chicken. We're going to fold it in the sauce here. There's one. Grab your plate there. Where's your plate at? There we go. Like I said, we have a lot more sauce than we need, but hopefully it's come out just right. Put that away. We'll clean that up in a little bit. There we go. And I need a fork and probably need a knife here. So here's a knife for you. Give me a fork here. Do that. So here we go for the meal for the night. Basmati rice, lemon herb chicken. Primarily, the lemon is primarily in the sauce. A bit of green beans, a little bit of salad with some Italian dressing on it. Hey, Mr. Huber, how you doing? Always a pleasure to have you in. So a simple meal, lemon herb chicken made in the truck. So let's give this a little taste test here. We'll start with the green beans, I think. So just lightly steamed or boiled, so they're still fairly as firm as we can make them. A little bit of butter on them. Still got that crunchiness, that firmness from being alive. A little bit of the salad from the Flying J here. A little bit of a zesty, robusto Italian wishbone dressing. A bit of the basmati rice. You see how it just, unlike the rice I normally make, it just flakes and each grain is pretty much separate. A little bit nutty, a little bit peppery. Definitely is hitting the spot there. Get a piece of this. Get a piece of this chicken here. Nice and tender. Lemon, butter, herbs. Like I said, a real lemon with the zest from the outside would give it a little bit better flavor. Being able to have a little bit more time to do things would definitely, of course, improve it. But in a truck, as I always say, this is possible. You don't have to limit yourself to what most truck drivers do. Oh, there's a Wendy's, there's a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Taco Bell. There's Denny's, there's the IHOP, there's, the local diner, whatever it is. There's the things you pop in the microwave, or, I'm just going to heat something. I'm going to open a can of something, of beef ravioli, and that's my dinner. Or I'm going to eat sandwiches every single day. I have a fellow truck driver who's a personal friend. He gets in that mode of every day doing the same exact thing. You make a little charcuterie board. Cheese, a little bit of crackers like Triscuits or Ritz crackers, little sociables, rye crisp, whatnot. A couple cuts of meat, a couple pieces of cheese, and he'll eat that every single day. Or he'll do soup every single day. He'll do sandwiches every single day. And I refuse to do that. We got some good Jewish rye bread here, seeded. We're going to make some really nice grilled cheese sandwiches with this. I'm happy with that, but you know, it's not your standard plain old run-of-the-mill stuff. You know, it's going to be more flavor, not much more expensive. I mean, this is Arnold, which is
Only $3.
not the brand that I really like. I mean, but I cannot get Manischewitz, you know, brand everywhere. The Northeast, I can get it, but you know, other places I just cannot get the brand I like, and you know, I prefer. The Arnold is pretty good. It's like 92% of what the Manischewitz would be, but it's going to work. You know, you put a good liberal coat of butter on there, like 5 slices of American cheese, Kraft American cheese on the inside. You toast that up in a nice cup of Campbell's tomato soup. That's a meal. That's just such a good thing. You know, but being able to do it yourself and having it precisely the way you want it makes it so much better. Like I said, too many guys out here, they're getting the burger. Oh, I got the wrap, or I got the salad. You know, they cut it up and put it in a bowl, and that's healthier. Well, I guarantee you this is a lot healthier, a lot more satisfying than turn that way. You know, a lot more satisfying a meal, and also less. You know, if I try to get a plate, you know, this size, I mean, let's see how compared to my hand here. You try to get a plate like this of food from what's on the inside there, you're talking $15, $20 from the truck stop. At least $12 or so, you know, $10 or $12 from the local diner or restaurant for a sit-down meal. It's not going to be half the quality. It's not going to be typically what you want. It's going to be the same thing at every single restaurant. Meatloaf, maybe a pork chop, your typical burger, like a chicken something, and they put a lot of color into it, but it just isn't you do not have, you know, chefs in the back. You have line cooks in the back. This is how you do it. This is the way to do it. No creativity, no real attempt to make something good. Get some of this good old rice here. But want to say thank you to my friend Christina. Parting words.
So good.
Yeah. There you go. We got the professional there. We thank her for making the rice. It's excellent. Like I said, a little bit different flavor profile than I'm normally used to, but a good Basmati, Pakistani / Indian style. Came out very well. I'm definitely feeling the pepper back here, where you're supposed to feel the pepper. Not up in the front, not up in the roof of your mouth. You know, just a little bit of heat right back there. Like she said, it's more of a warming sensation. So, we're going to finish our dinner, do our cleanup. I got not much more to do. I'm going to edit a video tonight. I'm going to try to. And like I said, on Tuesday, we're going to have a bonus meal for the week. I don't know what's going to be. We'll determine what that will be later on. Hopefully, at least one. If I can get one truck driver to see what we're doing, outstanding. But like I said, simple tools, not the best tools in the world, but the knowledge is where you really make it. So there you go. But everything that I do here, you can definitely do in a regular house, RV, boat, a tent in the woods, a restaurant, or in a truck. Not too bad. So, lemon herb chicken with a nice lemony herb sauce, lots of butter in it. But there you go. It's falling off on me. just that merest hint, well, maybe not more than the merest hint, but a little bit of that sourness, but that creaminess from the butter, all good. And that's why you use the Wonder flour, so you don't get any kind of graininess in there. And it all works. Diana, thank you very much for coming. We do appreciate it. And we hope to see you next Saturday for a meal, a bonus meal on this coming Tuesday. Next Sunday, 5 more dishes that you guys can vote on. Please make sure you vote as soon as I post it. And like I said, but everything that came across came pretty good. I do appreciate it. Huawei, thank you very much. Diana, Mr. Stephen Huber, TJ Jones, let's see, Nathaniel Lee, Shelly Michelle, thank you very much. Margaret Clark, King Queen Stacking, Roland Keith, thank you, Raleigh, coming all the way from Australia. Mr. Ross Romes, all the way from the UK. Thank you, sir. Always definitely a pleasure having you in. And Salty Dog KW, Mr. Nathaniel Lee, B Blood. Let's see who else came in here. Wanda Wyatt, fellow truck driver. Sandy Puterberg, Puterball. Kane Henson, B Blood, Cruiser Chris World Network. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Healthy Living with Miss Renee the Barber. Miss Renee, always a pleasure. I know I haven't been on your lives a lot lately, but work is work. We understand that. Let's see who else. Joe Scat, fellow truck driver. Thank you for coming in. You need to put your vote in earlier, Joe. Josh Warmke, always a favorite. All the way up there from Canada. Appreciate you, sir. So we're going to say, God bless you. Have a good, safe week. And we will see you Monday for the live stream going down the road. And we'll go from there. Any last words?
Delicious.
Delicious. I'll take that. There we go. So, like I said, God bless. Everybody have a good night. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, live stream doing work, driving, or loading, unloading, something of that nature. On Facebook in the morning, YouTube in the afternoon. And then we'll see you for the next meal, the bonus meal, come on Tuesday, Saturday, and of course next week, number 6 Sunday night dinner. So we'll see you there. God bless and have a good night. Not too bad. If I press the right